Hello and welcome back to more Toy Unboxing Advent Calendar openings. And today we are going to be doing something that is Masked Rider theme. Because who doesn't like Masked Riders? You know, riders like Medusa from the Fate series. That's right, from Fate Stay Night, it is Figma Rider 2.0. Yet another Masked Rider, but not the one you were expecting, was it? Anyway, I am a fan of the Fate Stay Night series, so yeah. Every so often we get a Fate character that I am interested in, and Ryder is one who I was not into Fate when her original release came out, but I am into Fate now, and yeah. So Ryder, yeah, it's a Figma that's got a big box, and that's because of all these chains and stuff. She is a rider in the actual Fate fiction as well. And that is more because, like, I think it was a chariot that she had. But yeah, let's take a look at Ryder here. Ryder in Fate Stay Night is based off of the, to give some spoilers for an older story now, I guess. She is the Greek hero slash, I guess, villain, but I mean, I guess hero in her own story of Medusa. And yeah. So as a result, she normally wears a mask because of the fact that otherwise her gaze can turn people to stone. And yeah, apparently that doesn't apply to plastic likenesses of her, unlike, Weeping Angels. Let's take a look and see what there is to notice on her. Fairly standard range of motion so far. Oh, interesting. We got like an up and down in the neck there at the bottom base. And we've got an upper bit. It's not overly common for Figmas to actually have neck articulation here, but I think it's because of the collar. Let's see, we have ball-jointed shoulders, good range there. Let's see, we got a swivel here at the shoulder as well. Joints, single-jointed, but a very good range of motion there in the elbows. Wrist bends, ball-jointed wrists. It'll have swappable hands. Let's see, we have a ball joint up here at the top of the torso. And down here, not really. I guess there's a little bit of a waist swivel. Not much of one, but a little. Yeah, there's a waist swivel there. Cool. And yeah, and as for the actual legs, good range of motion here in terms of the spread. There's a soft goods skirt here, which is on its own part, so we can push it up and down a little bit as required. There's some cuts in it, so that'll allow for posability. It does get in the way a little bit. It gets a little bit in the way of the legs, but I think thanks to the cuts, it's posable enough that you can still do stuff like sitting poses. Again, looking at the cuts here, you've got a good amount of range of motion here in the knees. Fairly realistic range of motion there. And yeah, we have swivels up here. And we have ball joints here in the actual, just a standard Figma joint there in the actual ankles there. So decent range of motion there. And she actually even has like some toes there as well. Toe range of motion. That's always nice. Okay, and yeah, it looks like that this is supposed to tab underneath on the skirt here. There's layers to the skirt, and yeah, they do it like that. So that way when you I'll show this off here. They have layers to the skirt here so that when you move the legs up, it will actually allow the skirt some movement without completely breaking the lines on the skirt. That is a nice feature. That is pretty cool. Looking at the hair here, hair is pretty weighty, and it's actually multi-layered. You don't see that super often with Figmas. That's pretty kind of cool. You got like all these different layers of pieces here. You got like the back one here. You got this upper layer here of hair as well. Yeah, we got like two pieces here as an underlayer. And then we got these ones. Actually, let's see if these are on joints. Doesn't look... Yeah, the hair here, this is on swivel joints for up and down for these bottom pieces of hair. And because of that, you should be able to shape the entire hairstyle. Doesn't really hold up super well because there's a lot of weight to it. And from the side, it kind of looks weird. Yeah, from the side, her head kind of looks weird just because of like how far out the bangs go. But yeah, and then we've got just, again, soft plastic here for the front bangs. It's a pretty cool look there. So, looking at the face options with Ryder here, we have the base face here, which, yeah, she looks kind of nervous here, looking at the camera. Like a little bit stunned, a little bit of a cut in the mouth there. And as with most Figma figures, you pop off the front of the hair there in order to take the faces out. We've also got another face here, a smiling face. Again, it's got the more modern anime, just a slight cut in the middle of the smile there. And that looks pretty good. I'm quite liking that look. And then, of course, we have a third face here. As soon as I can pry this off. And that is an angry face. She has this angry face here. She is a little bit pissed right now. And again, I'm really liking the detail on this. Like, look at just the detail on the teeth there. I really like the modern anime style, just like cut in the line in the middle of the actual face there. And of course, as I mentioned, Ryder does wear a mask. So to take a look at that, I think we're going to have to take the hair back off. And as you can see, there's a couple little grooves here that are cut into the sides of the face there. And that is where the mask is going to plug in. So it can go on all three of the heads as a result. Just making sure this is in properly. And yeah, starting with this head here. Yeah, it's fairly standard. Again, she wears the mask there so that she's not using her, so that way when she uses her noble phantasm there for for using her Medusa powers of her eyes turning people to stone. That way she doesn't always turn people to stone when she looks at them. Like, the eyes are the tell. In the Fate series, they generally don't want to give away what mythological character they are, because that means that people can figure out how to defeat them. And as a result, she wears that over her eyes so that you can't really tell that, oh, hey, she's got these magic eyes. But yeah, here she is with the more this one becomes more of just a neutral face here once you take with this on, as opposed to the original stunned eyes, where it looks like she's just been caught in the middle of a compromising position of some kind. And then, and now let's take a look at her with a smile. Again, in the Fate series, she was the Matoi servant. She served Shinji and she served Sakura in different routes. But yeah, and there she is with the smile with this on. And yeah, I mean, it does look pretty good on her. I probably will leave it off when I actually post her on the shelf. But yeah, no, it looks pretty good. And standing her up here, we're going to just keep going through the box and looking at accessories. She has this chain here. It is a fixed position chain here. There's no posability in it, just for her various chained knife weapons. But there is also in the box, there is also a loose chain that looks to be posable. I'm going to pull that out and take a look. Yeah, Ryder also has a loose chain that is posable and that has just little metal bits on it. So if you do want to have that ability, yeah, you can do that. What else do we have in here? We have the standard Figma stuff here where you have the stand and you have all the different hands for the expressions. Again, fairly standard Figma stuff. There's a few that are specific to her holding the chain in her hands, I believe, so that she's got it threading through the fingers. And at the very back of the Figma box, we have... Oh, it's just another chain. She has 2 chains in this book. No, is that 3 chains in the box? Yeah, no, she has a few... Yeah, just to look here, she has a few chains of varying length. One of them it looks like is... one it looks like is just a giant one, like this one here, where it's just a static position, and the other one is another metal chain. So I guess that way you can do stuff where you can have her in poses where you just put the chain around her wrist there, and then just have her deploying the chain. I'll just showcase that with the ones that I've got out here right now. There's a couple of different options we can do with these chains. So we can put this one here around her wrist, and put the hand back on. Actually, I'll do it like this. So this one here we can put around her wrist, and we can have her then use the chain. Deploy it out. Might even go actually behind this here. Let me just double check the box. And I'm a little bit mistaken here, because I guess that's not actually the way that she generally uses the chains. She's generally using them as chain weapons and then holding them by this, or using these as the daggers. But yeah, you have the option there to put it around her wrist in any case if you so chose. So she can do that. But yeah, yeah, you've got the 2 different chain lengths here. You could just have her hold it by this even and just thread it through her hand like so. So yeah, you got options, and yeah, the different hand options will definitely allow different options for posing the chain. And basically, yeah, that is Figma Rider. So I'm going to throw her on a stand, and I'm going to get to the second toy, which is also a masked rider. But is it the one that you expect? And to answer my leading question, yes, it is the one you expect, because the second figure I'm opening is SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Black Sun from the recent Amazon Kamen Rider Black Sun series. It is a Kamen Rider series that is made specifically with the adult audience in mind in terms of the actual subject matter. It is not one I would screen to kids, and it is a very well-written show and an incredibly political show, which makes some interesting commentaries on Japanese politics, considering the current events that have happened in the past year or so over there. Pulling him out here, we can see, oh, he is gorgeous. I can hear the Black Sun theme just going in my head because Black Sun has an amazing theme. And there we have parts falling off already. So yeah, to pull him out of the box, we have Kamen Rider Black Sun. This is his full-on henshin form. And if we just do this here, you can see, I'm just turning off the flash a little bit and turning it back on, so you can just see all this detail. Like, oh my, just the sculpted detail on this guy, the sheen to it all. Bringing up the head here, you can see the compound eyes, like just the bug head. You can tell there's a good budget on this suit. The driver is very well detailed. The actual driver gimmick in the show is amazing. I mean, even just looking at the lines here, they've got a metallic tint to them there, the various lines that are going about him. It looks stunning in person. It's a very matte finish to the character too, but that makes complete sense in the context of the actual show there, because the Kaijin are, like, they're mutants. They're all mutant animal people, so it makes sense that it wouldn't be, like, glossy armor. And yeah, he has the grasshopper stuff. You can see as well here too, he has his grasshopper legs just arranged up here around his shoulders. And that is going to play into the actual posing there, because in the actual show he does, yeah, I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, range of motion here, let's see. These are on the shoulders, as tends to happen with figure arts. Does he have butterfly joints? He has a little bit of a butterfly joint there. A full ball jointed range of motion. Again, very good range of motion for figure arts. We have the double neck movement there. Like, yeah, these are really good. Ab crunch and ball joint here at 2 layers here. So that also gives him a waist joint. Hips shift up and down a little bit, which is nice. Lets him do some pose variety. And it helps the kibble here move out of the way in terms of, yeah, he's got limited outward movement because of the suit design, but let's be honest, the real-life suit design probably has that exact same limitation. Good range of motion here, though, in the legs for being able to do stuff like sitting poses. We have double-jointed design here in the knees. Looks good. Standard ankle rotation, and he has toe articulation. Again, like, just look at all the sculpting here. This is amazing. This looks really good. We have double-jointed elbows here. We have wrist ball joints and some wrist tilting available. And he just looks amazing. Black Sun is just, it is just a really nice looking figure arts here. And it was one that, it's always a unknown thing when you're pre-ordering toys before you've actually seen the show. But then it's always a relief when the show comes out and you did pre-order the toy when it comes to rider stuff. And this is one where a lot of people saw the show and were really upset then, because it was a pain to pre-order this guy on places like Hobby Link Japan on account of how quickly he sold out and how that site can kind of have problems sometimes when it comes to actual availability come pre-order night. But yeah, we can see here there's a bunch of accessories in here. Some of them fell out. We have, some grasshopper legs. We have a whole bunch of alternate hands here for different poses. Like, just, there's some more claw-like ones. And we have some pieces here. These are some alternate chest plates. And we have a sword. Now, this sword, I'll just showcase this here. It's a little bit of a spoiler for the series here, but yeah, if this sword looks a little bit familiar looking at this sculpt here, and in fact, I'm going to swap in one of his hands there for holding the sword so that I can actually display this, because I'm probably going to swap this on. Yeah, so we're going to put the sword in his hand here. This sword is a really raw-looking sword, and there is a reason for that in the actual story. And, oh, this splits in half. That's good. That's good. That means that it's, yeah, that's good from just a fragility standpoint. And, okay, it's two different types of plastic, too, so. All right, but, yeah. Plug the sword back together there. And, yeah, there he is with his sword. And there is very much a reason for the way that the sword is designed, because, again, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but the sword is actually formed because, like, in two different scenes he has swords, because he full-on rips the grasshopper leg off of his body there and straightens it out into a sword. So for, like, from that on, but it's an actual physical part of his body. So from then on in the actual show, he doesn't have the grasshopper leg on that side. It's a striking detail there. It looks really cool. And I'm going to just showcase that just by ripping one of these off here. And yeah, that is what these pieces in the box are. These are empty chest pecs for like when he's got the sword ripped off. So that way you can fill in that little gap. And I'm just checking here to see if there's any other parts in here that are worth showing off. There's also these bits here. These are grasshopper limb bits. I am just trying to take a look and figure out where these go. And, oh, okay, yeah, these actually go on the back here. Yeah, these are meant to go on the back because the grasshopper legs are still wrapping around. Yeah, the grasshopper legs are still wrapping around the back of his body here. So they're actually meant to keep going along the back. And then he rips off a leg there and forms a sword with it. Like so. And this is showing up really badly because it's all black. But yeah, no, it is a really cool visual when it actually happens in the show. And it's one of those, oh damn moments because, yeah, he just ripped off a part of his body and he's now beating guys with it. And Black Sun is a very raw show. It's a very real show. It definitely has some very strong opinions, politically speaking, in terms of the Japanese government. And I'm not going to go into that, but I mean, there's certain stuff that they're doing in that, which, again, Kamen Rider has always been a very left-leaning franchise, and I have nothing wrong, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The show was all about punching Nazis from day one, and it has very much continued with that general mindset there. So, yeah, Black Sun. So, yeah, in summary, we have a pair of riders. One of them masked all the time, one of them masked some of the time. Both of them pretty badass, and from very successful franchises. One of them is all about beating up Nazis, the other one is all about beating up whoever their masters tell them to beat up, because of the way that the servant contracts work. So yeah, they are very cool figures. If you can get your hands on Black Sun and you're a Rider fan, yeah, pick him up. The only hard part now is I kind of want Shadow Moon, and he is going to be even harder to get than Black Sun was because he was a web exclusive. But yeah, that said, this is General Techno signing off, and go watch Kamen Rider Black Sun on Amazon Prime if you haven't yet. It's in the US! Watch it! Watch it!